Hey guys, how you doing? This video is a recap for Thursday, 5th of September, New York AM session. I did not take any trade because I didn't actually like what price gave me. And let me walk you through my thought process leading up to the New York Open. All right. So as you can see now, this is the real time, right? You can see the time is ticking over this side, right? So price obviously has created a new low on the hourly, and it has actually made a bearish impulse, right, for the past 3 hours. Okay, so let me just walk you through my thought process leading up to the New York Open. And to do that, I would have to do a replay. Okay, so let me just take that off. Oh. Okay. Right, now it says 1900, but I live in Western Australia, so 1900 my time, that is actually 7 a.m. candle New York time, Eastern Standard Time. So at the time, upon the close of this 1900 candle or the 7 a.m. candle, it is actually on the clock. It is actually 8 a.m. in New York. Okay, so upon the close of this candle, New York opens. Now, leading up to that, I mark 1 hour resistance here. Okay, because price made after a strong bullish candle, price made a bearish candle, another bearish candle, a bullish candle, which made a support over here, and then another made a bearish candle, like closing bearish, right? So I had to draw the resistance here. Okay, and it is such a tight range. And then there was another 1 hour support over here and 1 hour resistance all the way up there. So what I did was, upon the open of New York AM session, I went down to the 5 minutes and I knew that there's nothing for me to do here, right? Whatever price wants to do right now, right, as we stand now at 8 a.m., I don't actually have any setup, right, that I'm interested in. However, I'm interested in this, right? This is a pretty decent, nice, clean traffic area to the downside. Okay. Now, bear in mind, there are 3 red folder news that's coming up, right? At 8:15 a.m., 8:30 a.m., and 10 a.m. Okay, so I know tonight is going to be very tricky. All right. Now, for me to actually be interested in taking any setup, any short here, right, a sell down, if for those of you that have watched my previous video, the rules of my system is the 1 hour candle has to close below the support, right? So I need a 1 hour candle, right, to actually close below this, right? So let me just change this to black, right? He has to close below this, which means that I can't take anything until 9 a.m. onwards, right? If price on the 1 hour has already closed below the support, then I'm interested in taking the short play. Okay, and which makes that an external breakout play because it's actually a breakout externally outside of the 1 hour range. So that was my scenario number 1. The second scenario is for price through news, right, would actually break this resistance here, right? That means I need price to break this. Let me just change this color to white. Okay, right, price, you probably can't see. Let me just change the border. Okay, I need price to actually break this resistance, has to close above this, right? And if it does that, by 9 a.m. onwards, I'll be looking at buy like a long position. After price on the 5 minutes, break this clean traffic line. Okay, because I see this sort of a medium strength 5 minutes resistance. Okay, and I would like for price to break this. Okay, right, make some sort of like a support here, break that, and then I will actually take that higher. Okay, so that will be my second scenario. All right. Oops. Right, so let me just play for you, right, what price did until 9 a.m. Okay, see, like this, right? Price did break that 1 hour support on the 5 minutes. Remember, it's on the 5 minutes, not on the 1 hour. Why? Because see, the time is still 2020 or 8:20, right? New York time. So that means the 8 a.m. candle, right, has not closed below this, right? We only can say it has closed below this support when buying 8:59, right? Price actually closed below this 1 hour support. Okay, so we are now at 8:35, right? So I'm just gonna continue, right? But price actually end up closing back into the range. You see this? You see this candle, right? Closing back into the range, the 1 hour range, right? So if I actually go back, right? So we were here at the beginning of this video, right? 8 a.m. on the clock. It's actually a 7 a.m. candle. This one is an 8 a.m. candle, and it's actually 9 a.m. on the clock, right? So that means price actually closed. Price did actually break that low, that 1 hour support. However, it actually went all the way back in again and closed inside the area, the support area. So that means I can't take a sell, and luckily I didn't, because if I did, it would have actually hit my stop loss, right? If I did, I would have, right? I would have put probably my stop loss over here, right? As a decent resistance. I mean, by visually, okay. And I would have actually target this, right? I would have actually got stopped that. And this candle here, 8:30 a.m. right? So this is actually the candle, this long wick, this really weird looking bullish candle, is the one came from the news, the red folder news. All right, the other one is the 8:15 one, which is this one. Okay, so I didn't actually take that because it just wasn't within my rule or within my criteria. All right, so now I only have 1 more hour to take or to actually skip a trade. All right, so let's now continue replaying on the 5 minutes. Okay, so nothing for me below this 1 hour support because price has not broken the 1 hour support. All right, continue. Now there was another, sorry, I think I overdid it. There was another potential play, right? And it is called the failed breakout play, right? That means price broke the 1 hour support or resistance, or in this case 1 hour support, on the 5 minutes, not on the hourly, on the 5 minutes, but then price straight away pivoted, right, and goes back inside the range. For me, people call it a fake out, a fake breakout. I call it a failed breakout, right? It's the same thing. And normally what I would do, I would look into some sort of like structure, some sort of like resistance for price to actually break into, right? In this case, it's a resistance, which was this one, right? This was what I marked, right? Okay. So let me replay. So price went to below the 1 hour support on the 5 minutes, but then went straight back inside again into that range. Okay, so for me, it gives the opportunity for a failed breakout play, right? But it's not confirmed yet. Okay, but then price sort of like ranging here, okay, consolidating for a little bit. And then when I actually mark this, because this is actually like a 5 minutes resistance in my eyes, right? So when price breaks that, right? I'm thinking, okay, in terms of the failed breakout play, it is valid for me to actually take it to here, right? Take it to the next hard roadblocks, hard or strong 5 minutes resistance. Yeah. And I've taken this trade before in the past, okay, where there was a news as well, red roll news, and price actually just wicks sit through, all right? And instead of a rejection, my take profit, right, or the space where I actually capitalize the move from, right, is actually like a weak fill, right? So instead of a rejection, the whole entire move is actually filling this whole week. Okay, there are 3 red folder news tonight, not just one. I think at the time when I took this sort of like formation, right, when price actually did a fake out on a 5 minutes and then went back in again without a body, right? So with a wick, and I caught the wick fill move, right? If I remember where I took it, I will share with you guys next time on the next video. But then it was only 1 red folder news, and I knew that we had 3 red folder news, and it's the first week of the month, and normally historically I know that the first week of the month I don't have the best record. All right, and I think it's due to there's a lot of like heavy news coming towards the first of the month usually. So I didn't actually I decided to not take the trade, but if I did, okay, it was valid, but I decided to sit on the sideline. And also I have to admit, when I saw, but by the time price actually confirms my setup, okay, the failed breakout play, the risk to reward that actually gave me wasn't amazing, right? So it wasn't great. It was like 0.39 R, right, to my risk, 0.39%, because I risk 1% per trade. And the other time when I actually took this failed breakout and it was a weak fill exactly like this, I had more. I had like, I think 0.7 or like close to 1. I think it was like, yeah, I think it's very close to 1 R, right, 1%. And so I thought the range was pretty tight. There were 3 red folder news tonight. 2 has already gone, and then there's 1 more coming up at 10 a.m. Okay, and then I had NYSE also coming up. The range was tight, and it's the beginning of the month, so I thought, okay, you know what, in my mind I thought, have I seen a better setup than this? Absolutely. Is there many more better setup than this one? Absolutely. Right. So after I answered those 2 questions, I told myself, okay, so now it's time for me to stay out of the trade for tonight anyway. Yeah, and then if we see, it did actually end up, yeah, hitting the TP, right? And actually broke lower, right? This is an NYSE, yeah, 930, so always amazing volume, amazing, right? Okay, right, so it end up, yeah, going lower and lower, and then it actually right now, so if you can see, let me just exit this replay. Right, so this is real time now. So 16 minutes away from this candle closing. Right, so at the moment now, price actually stopped at the 4-hour support. Now that 4-hour support, I made a video yesterday. It was actually derived from a daily support. So we are actually on a daily, guys. Okay, so we are actually on this daily support. Okay, right, we actually are on daily support. So I expect price to get rejected from this area because it is such a strong zone, right? and I refined that daily support to the 4-hour support. So you can see the rejection here now at the moment, right? So we are 1 hour and 15 minutes away from this 4-hour candle closing, right? And I did say coming into the week, in terms of structure, yeah, we are still bullish, although I did say yesterday we are not as bullish as the last 2 weeks. And I said it is possible for us to actually kind of hover around this area, right, making sideways movements on a higher time frame. So I guess this is the trigger point, right? Today is Thursday, right? So tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow there is an FOMC. So we'll see what this FOMC, so not FOMC, so tomorrow is going to be NFP, right? Non-farm payroll, right? So this is one of the big four, I call it, right? The red folder news. So let's see what NFP does to price and the structure. If price actually breaks this daily support or the 4-hour support, I reckon we could be heading towards a pretty bearish week next week, right? If price actually respected this, right, this area here, I'm expecting for next week for price to be a little bit more sideways, right? More indecisive throughout. Yeah, but again, I could actually have all these outlook, right? This weekly outlook, but I never actually make, that would never influence my decision on each session. So whenever I actually come into session, right, the New York AM session, I always have a fresh bias, and I always have, if this happens, then what do I do? If that happens, then this is what I do. So I never say this is what will happen. Okay, I will always keep 2 or 3 scenarios open, and I always try to be prepared to know what I need to do if A happens, or if B happens, or if C happens. Okay. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that, and that's it from me for today. For this week, I don't trade on Fridays, and I wish everyone to have a good weekend. And I will see you next week on Monday, same time and same session. All right, happy trading and stay well, guys. Thank you for watching, guys. If you find this video useful, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to like, comment, and share. Make sure you check out my other videos too.